Often when I get new clients, almost everyone in some form or fashion has a pre-existing condition. Sometimes it's injury, sometimes it's disease, but everyone pretty much has had a medical encounter, so to speak, meaning they've been to doctors, they've done some form of treatment, and whether they're coming to me related to that issue or not, it should come up when doing a medical background check. However, sometimes in discussions, we stumble upon things just through asking questions, genuine curiosity, even if it's technically things outside of my wheelhouse. We'll come to realizations where we go, well, why didn't the doctor think of this? Or why didn't the doctor ask me this? And it's hard because the medical industry as it is in a very tough spot where the system is strained. It's totally understaffed, to say the least. They're not as compensated well as you'd think they would be. But then there's also the argument that sometimes people can get bad doctors. And it's very unfortunate. There's good trainers and bad trainers. There's good lawyers and bad lawyers. There's good doctors and bad doctors. So how do you know if you are with a medical professional who is just constrained with the tools at hand versus someone who is just genuinely going through the day and has lost that sense of empathy? So things that I like to tell my clients to ask or to look for is, number one is be inquisitive, is ask questions. Because people who are truly, what I would argue is masters of their craft, enjoy talking about it. Some of the best healthcare professionals out there love to answer questions because it gives them the opportunity to geek out and not only kind of share their expertise, but also their sense of joy for the thing that they do day in and day out. The other thing I tell them is if they are that good at their craft, they ought to be able to take complex, say, systems, mechanisms, organisms, structures, whatever, and boil it down into very basic, understandable metaphors. I like to say the explain like I'm five explanation of you can teach people the basic concepts without having to know all of the crazy sciencey stuff, but they still get the point and understand what needs to be understood. So having someone who loves to answer your questions and is very good at explaining things, not down to talk dumb to you, but explaining things down to the root concepts so that everyone can understand and appreciate it. If you can't get that sense of wanting to help from your doctor, they may genuinely be constrained in time and don't have the bandwidth, but they could also just not be a great medical professional. In both cases, you might be better served going to get another opinion elsewhere from someone who does have the time to listen and provide resources. And the third thing that I would say is people can't know everything. So the way you can separate those who truly want to get to the root of the problem versus those who are just wanting to stroke their ego is when they get stumped by something, do they blow it off? Or do they actually say, you know what? I don't know, but let's find someone who can tell us. A team player, because their priority is to fix your issue and not just to say, I'm the expert, just do what I say, okay? Don't worry about it. So I would say those are the three things you should consider when trying to decide if the doctor that you're currently seeing is right for you. And my son's awake.